Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today on state and local innovation to help low-income parents better their lives and those of their children. I'm here on behalf of CLASP, a national nonprofit group, and I'm especially happy to be here with panelists from Oklahoma, Kentucky, and Washington who can really speak to what's happening on the ground in this area. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, past welfare reform debates have often centered on the question of which route is more effective to economic independence, education or work. I've followed this research and practice for more than 20 years, and it now seems quite clear that the answer to the education or work question is yes. Both education and work experience are critical for low-income parents to succeed economically. Thank you. But it seems just as clear that it's not always possible for people to be good students, good workers, and good parents all at the same time, as we've just heard. I would like to respectfully suggest that it's time to put aside old debates and start a different conversation, a conversation that grapples with three new realities. The first is that changes in our economy have made it increasingly hard for workers with only a high school education or less to earn enough to support a family. The second reality is that education and training services for adults are adapting to respond effectively to this economic change. The third is that TANF policies, unfortunately, are too often part of the problem and not part of the solution to this economic change. I'll address each of these quickly in turn. Over the last 20 years, our economy has changed in ways that place a growing premium on education and training beyond high school. Those who have at least a 2- or 4-year college degree have seen their earnings at least hold steady and for women rise, while the earnings of those with only a high school diploma have dropped substantially. High school dropouts have been hit the hardest. Their earnings have fallen almost by half. Even in these tough economic times, education matters. You can see in Figure 1 in my testimony that in this recession, high school dropouts are twice as likely to be out of work as adults who have at least some post-secondary education. We are not here today to argue that low-wage workers can never move up to better jobs or out of poverty through work alone. Some do. But multiple studies of low-wage workers generally and former welfare recipients specifically show that even over many years of work, most are not able to substantially increase their earnings. The second new reality we'd like to highlight today is that education and training programs are adapting effectively to this changed economy. They're creating more flexible and shorter ways for low-wage workers to earn marketable credentials. This innovation is driven by research, some from the welfare to work arena and some from other education studies. I don't want to take too much time to walk through this because I want to get to the state and local innovative practices, but the most important research points I want to leave you with are that first, we know from welfare to work evaluations that welfare to work programs are most successful when they follow a mixed strategy. That is a strategy where caseworkers have a variety of employment and education and training services they can assign folks to depending on individual needs. This kind of mixed strategy is more effective than any kind of one-size-fits-all approach, whether that one size is education or whether that one size is job search. Secondly, for high school dropouts in particular, for that subgroup, education and training pays off most if they can go through basic skills and get some job training or post-secondary education and not just get basic skills alone. Further research beyond the welfare to work evaluations show that financial barriers are the single biggest challenge to low-wage workers trying to earn marketable credentials. For example, job and financial demands are the most common reason that students seeking to earn occupational certificates or degrees drop out. Students who work more than 20 hours per week take significantly longer to complete post-secondary programs than students who work less. Fortunately, over the last decade, states and communities have been crafting solutions to these challenges so that more low-wage workers can increase their skills. Some of these innovations are career pathways in half a dozen different states, including Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Ohio, Oregon, Washington, Wisconsin, and other states. A second innovative approach is bridge programs for basic skills students. These bridge programs combine basic skills and job skills. They help people earn post-secondary certificates in a much shorter period of time, and we see great examples of those in Illinois, Minnesota, Washington, and Wisconsin. A third approach is expanding student aid and career coaching for low-income adults. Kentucky's Ready to Work program, Pennsylvania's KEYS initiative, Arkansas Career Pathways, Washington's Opportunity Grants, those are all good examples of that strategy. And work-study jobs in particular, which Kentucky will talk about later today, can be an especially effective way to combine work and school in more flexible ways. One example that responds directly to the challenge of helping more high school dropouts earn marketable credentials is Washington's IBEST program. Washington examined earning outcomes for thousands of basic skills and community college students over a 5-year period and found a tipping point for education and training to pay off substantially. That tipping point is about 1 year of occupational training and an occupational certificate. So 1 year post-secondary and an occupational certificate. And other national and state studies have echoed this tipping point. In IBEST, as you can see in Figure 3, basic skills are contextualized to specific career pathways. They're taught at the same time as the technical job skills. They're team taught by career technical faculty and adult ed faculty side by side. And a May 2009 independent study of IBEST by Columbia University found 55% of IBEST students earned an occupational certificate as compared to just 15% of a comparable group of students. In Wisconsin, that kind of IBEST bridge program is folded into a longer career pathway. So you can see in Figure 4 that the notion of this career pathway is not just to help the students on the lowest basic skills end, although it has that bridge piece too, but it's helping students all along through a 1-year diploma, a 2-year associate degree, and articulating into 4-year degrees. And these pathways are customized to particular occupations, whether that's manufacturing, healthcare, or others.
Close.
Yes, thank you. So in conclusion, what I'd like to say is that TANF policies have not kept up with either the changes in the economy or with these new ways of providing education and training. As a practical matter, the effect of current TANF policies is to almost eliminate access to education and training. So today what we're really debating is not whether TANF should be work first, it's whether TANF should remain work only. And we'd like to encourage you to refocus the TANF program on outcomes and let states and localities make the best choices as to which mix of education, training, and employment services can achieve those outcomes.